Good evening. This is a regular scheduled meeting of the Kettering City Council. Today's date is May 26, 2026. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please join me in an invocation this evening. The God of grace and mercy, we gather with gratitude for this community and for the opportunity to serve it together. Tonight, as we remember the meaning of Memorial Day yesterday, we honor the men and women who gave their lives in service to our nation. We give thanks for the freedom secured through their sacrifice. May their example of courage, duty, and selfless service inspire us all tonight in our work here and our care for one another. Guide our thoughts and discussions and help us approach our responsibilities this evening with wisdom, patience, and a shared commitment to the common good. Thank you. Next, I'd like to recognize our Miami Valley Communications and Technology Group Government Production Technician. How do you put that on a business card, Evan? Evan Russell, thank you so much for your assistance in taking care of us tonight from the booth in the back. This time, I'd like to call upon Vice Mayor Duval for a motion to approve the minutes from the April 28th, 2026 meeting.
I have reviewed the minutes for the April 28th, 2026 meeting and council meeting and workshop, and I find them to be in order, and I move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any comments on the April 26th? April 26th? Yeah, April 28 minutes. Seeing none, we can call the roll.
Ms. Duval?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Ms. Arbor?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Abstain.
Mr. Palmer?
Yes.
Mayor Sutton?
Yes. Tonight we have a special occasion, as you may have noticed by the room this evening, a presentation with the Kettering Police Department, both promotions and swearing in tonight, and I'll turn it to you, Chief.
Thank you, Mayor. We do appreciate your time in celebrating the 3 promotions that we're getting ready to do tonight and the swearing in of our newest officer. So first, I'd like to introduce Lieutenant Josh Wolf. Josh is here tonight with his wife, Kristen, his sons, Kaisik and Wyatt. Josh holds an associate's degree from Miami University, and prior to joining the Kettering Police Department, he served with the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. In February 2017, he was hired by KPD as a patrol officer, where he quickly demonstrated his commitment and leadership potential. Over the years, Josh has taken on a variety of roles, including being promoted to sergeant in July of 2023, where he supervised the afternoon watch and professional standards section, where he worked to ensure the department's integrity. He also served as a taser instructor, a field training officer, a SWAT team officer, and he's now the SWAT team commander. He was a part of the accident investigation team. He was on bike patrol. He was a motorcycle officer, and he was on the honor guard. And next Friday, Josh will graduate from the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department's Leadership Academy. Through his hard work, leadership, and dedication, Lieutenant Wolf continues to make a significant impact on the Kettering Police Department and the community he serves. Next, I'd like to introduce you to Sergeant Daryl Brenneman. Daryl is here tonight with his wife, Becky, their daughters, Cadence and Kaylin. Daryl is a seasoned law enforcement professional whose career spans over 24 years of service and dedication. Prior to joining the Kettering Police Department, he served with the Madison Township, Union County for 10 years and the Marion County Sheriff's Office for 7 years. In March of 2021, he was hired by the Kettering Police Department as a patrol officer. Throughout his career, he has served in a variety of roles, including the motorcycle unit, a field training officer, and an evidence technician. His experience, commitment to excellence, and leadership have made him an invaluable asset to the police department. Next, Sergeant Matt Harper. Matt is here tonight with his wife, Allison, his sons, Nolan and Caleb, and their daughter, Riley. Prior to joining the Kettering Police Department, you guys are hiding. Nice try. Prior to joining the Kettering Police Department, Sergeant Harper was an officer with the Enon Police Department for 5 years and the West Carrollton Police Department for 7 years. In March of 2021, he was hired by the Kettering Police Department as a patrol officer. During his time with the department, Sergeant Harper has served in a variety of roles, including K-9 officer, which he still is, as a field training officer, and a SWAT team officer, earning the respect of both peers and the community. Sergeant Harper brings valuable experience, dedication, and integrity to his new leadership position. We'll now ask our family members to pin the badges, please. And Mayor, with rank comes privilege, so Lieutenant Wolf has been asked to come up and say a few words on behalf of the group.
The floor is yours, Lieutenant. 15, 20 minutes, whatever it takes.
I promise not to go over that. Thank you, Chief. I always appreciate time, a chance for public speaking. It's one of my strong suits. I'm honored and humbled to accept this promotion to Lieutenant. The opportunity comes with a great deal of responsibility and a new set of challenges, but with the team around me, I'm confident that we can master any challenge that we come across. I want to thank my family for their encouragement, patience, and understanding. I wouldn't be here without their support. I also want to thank the leadership and the officers I've worked alongside with over the past several years. For better or for worse, I've learned something from every one of them. Policing is built on service, trust, accountability, and teamwork. As I step into this new role, I'm committed to leading with integrity, supporting the officers, and continuing to serve the city of Kettering to the best of my ability. Thank you again for this opportunity. I'm proud to serve along with you, and I look forward to what's ahead.
Thank you all. You may be seated.
Are we allowed to comment and say that we have never been so invested in watching a pin go in that we just were?
I think the whole audience was watching that. At this time, Mayor, I'd like to introduce the newest member of the Kettering Police Department, Rhett Birch. Rhett is here today with his wife, Olivia, his son, Harrison, and their daughter, Delilah. Also in the audience tonight is his mother and father, Grant and Lisa. After graduating high school, Rhett joined the United States Air Force and served 2 years on active duty as a military police officer. And to this day, he still serves in a reserve capacity. Officer Birch comes to the Kettering Police Department from the Delaware County Sheriff's Office, where he has served as a deputy sheriff since 2024. Rhett brings a strong commitment to service and public safety to the department. Rhett, you also get a speaking role because you got to say the oath of office. I, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States of America, the Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio, and the laws and ordinances of the City of Kettering. And I will discharge the duties of the office of patrol officer, to which I have been appointed, to the best of my ability. Mayor, as always, we appreciate the time that you allow us to do this, and most importantly, we appreciate the support from council, so thank you very much. Now, the police officers are going to very quietly head downstairs where we're going to take some pictures, so thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Chief. We are going to do our best to continue the agenda tonight. They're never as quiet as the fire department. Right, Chief? That's correct. Fire department, it's a mouse. Police department, chaos. Tonight, we do have a public hearing on proposed amendments to the zoning code. The Planning Commission recommended that the proposed amendments be approved, and the Planning Commission certification packet is made part of the record. First tonight, city staff, Mr. Ryan Holmesy, will give a presentation on the topic. After the staff presentation, we will take comments from those members of the public who are present tonight and wish to be heard on the topic. Mr. Holmesy. Okay. Comments at that time will be limited to 5 minutes per person. And now, at the strike of the gavel, I'll open the public hearing. Mr. Holmesy.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Council. I will go through a quick summary of the proposed amendments. If there's any questions, let me know. There's 6 different sections or chapters of the zoning code that would be impacted by this amendment. The first is section 1150, the permitted principal use table. The second is standards for specific uses, which is chapter 1137. The notification requirements in section 1153.04. A minor change to the pattern zoning and pattern district and text amendment process, organizational correction in the section that deals with the appeal of zoning administrator decision, and then finally a few changes to the definition chapter. The changes to the principal use table have been discussed at prior work sessions. The first is that it removes the kiosk use altogether. It removes the tobacco, nicotine, and vaping sale use altogether, and it also removes a couple more storage uses that we still have in the code as a continuation of when we removed the self-storage use a couple of years ago. Going along with that, in Chapter 1137, Standards for Specific Uses, we're proposing to just remove the tobacco, nicotine, and vaping sales, kiosks, and the standards applicable to indoor and outdoor vehicle storage, because if the uses are no longer permitted, then we don't need special standards for them. Part of the moratorium that was adopted about a year ago included a moratorium on small box discount stores while we studied potential ways to prevent an oversaturation of those uses. And based on that research, we are proposing a 2-mile radius or spacing requirement between each small box discount store. And that, again, that's just intended to prevent an over concentration of those uses. We're also proposing to add a requirement for drive-through restaurants that at least a small indoor customer area be provided, 500 square feet, to ensure that there's some level of pedestrian-focused development throughout the city. And the next couple slides will explain this change much better. In the notification chapter, we're proposing to add a provision stating that mailed legal notices are required for rezonings involving 10 or fewer parcels, while the legal notices for rezonings involving more than 10 parcels need to only be posted in the newspaper and on the city's website. And there's a couple reasons for this. In the Ohio Revised Code, section 713.12, this is applicable to legislative bodies in Ohio, not necessarily planning commissions. The public hearing process, if an ordinance, measure, or regulation intends to rezone or redistrict 10 or less parcels of land as listed in the tax duplicate, written notice shall be mailed. If it's more than that, then the written notice is not required. Also, we did some research on what some other cities in the area are doing. This is just a screenshot from Centerville's Unified Development Ordinance in their rezoning section, and that is that the clerk of council shall provide written notice of a public hearing for any rezoning where such application intends to rezone 10 or fewer parcels of land. Dayton has a very similar section in their code. The proposed amendment intends to rezone or redistrict an area of 10 or less parcels of land as listed on the tax duplicate. Notice of the hearing shall be mailed. Vandalia, in their relatively recently updated code, they include text that for zoning map amendments that affect more than 10 properties, written notice is not required. Middletown has a very similar section. I'm not going to read through all these. Mason has a very similar section. Dublin has a very similar section in their rezoning section of their code. So we're proposing to basically add a very similar section to our code. If there's a ordinance that intends to rezone more than 10 properties, we want to follow the similar process as laid out in the ORC. And then finally, Chapter 1159, definitions. We had to add a couple of clarification items. One of them is that kiosk uses do not include drive-through or drive-in or fast food restaurants. Clarifies that self and mini storage uses include developments where individual and self-contained units are sold and leased. Clarifies that small box discount stores do not include retail uses that contain prescription pharmacies, and there's a few other minor organizational changes throughout that chapter. Again, there's a list of the sections impacted by the amendment, and at the Planning Commission public hearing on April 20th, the Planning Commission recommended that this ordinance be approved, or this amendment be approved, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
I had one question. The big box stores, the 2-mile radius, is that a 2-mile radius within the city of Kettering? So if Beaver Creek or one of the cities that we border has a big box store, You know what I'm saying? Is it a 2-mile radius just within Kettering? Or would it disqualify one on the border of another city? Does that make sense, what I'm asking?
You're talking about if someone's trying to build one in Beaver Creek?
You said, yeah, no, if Beaver Creek has one close to the border in Kettering,
Oh,
within
yeah.
2 miles, or is that irrelevant? Is it just within Kettering?
We've interpreted it to be irrelevant.
Okay,
If the same use is outside of the city, that radius can still apply. But it really depends how you.
the radius would apply? Okay,
Yeah, that's how it's been interpreted in the
okay,
past.
just curious.
Any other questions for Mr. Holmesy? Thank you. Seeing none, we'll move to public comments. Public comments will be limited to 5 minutes per person. Each person may only speak once. Please don't repeat any material that's already been covered. Before you begin, please state your name and address for the record. First, we'll call for any folks in the audience who are here in favor of the amendments. Seeing none, we'll call for anybody opposed to the amendments to the mic at this time. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and members of council. My name is Scott Liberman. I am an attorney with Coolidge Wall, 33 West 1st Street, Dayton, Ohio. And I'm here this evening on behalf of Alan Zatoba and 5959 Bigger Road, LLC, the owner of the property located at 5959 Bigger Road. Thank you for the opportunity to speak regarding the proposed text amendments this evening. The property at 5959 Bigger Road, as you may know, is a 94,000 square foot building that our client has owned since 2014. It's been vacant for a while and is currently being actively marketed for sale or lease. This is precisely the type of large, underutilized property that communities typically seek to reposition and reinvest in, and it represents a meaningful opportunity for future economic activity within the city. Importantly, this is not a speculative situation. We have a serious prospective purchaser who has developed a concept for redevelopment of the property. The buyer met with city staff in late March to begin discussing their proposal and potential path forward. I would also note that the prospective purchaser is here this evening and wishes to make comments when I'm done. While I understand that the proposal before council is framed as a general update to the zoning code for this property, it has a very real and immediate implications. This is not simply a policy discussion in the abstract. There's an active redevelopment opportunity currently being evaluated. I want to be clear about our purpose here tonight. We are not here to oppose thoughtful updates to the zoning code, and we recognize council's authority and responsibility to guide land use policy for the city. We also understand that tools such as moratoriums are sometimes used to allow time for careful review. Our request is more limited. We're asking for transparency and clarity as to how those changes apply to projects like this one that were already in motion. As we understand the recent timeline, the buyer engaged with city staff in late March. The Planning Commission considered and made its recommendation on the text amendments in April, and shortly thereafter, council enacted an additional temporary moratorium affecting certain uses while continuing to allow the city to evaluate broader zoning changes. From the perspective of a property owner or investor, that sequence can be difficult to fully understand, particularly when a project is already being evaluated in good faith. Projects like this require significant investment of time and resources, and those efforts are typically undertaken with reference to the zoning regulations as they exist at the time. When that framework becomes uncertain during active discussions, it can make it more difficult for projects to move forward. Transparency and predictability in this process are important. They help property owners make informed decisions, prospective buyers move forward with confidence, and ultimately support the redevelopment of vacant properties like my client's property. When expectations are clear, projects are far more likely to proceed in a way that aligns with the city's long-term planning goals. With that in mind, our request is straightforward. We respectfully ask for clear direction from council as to how the proposed text amendments and the moratorium apply to properties with active redevelopment interests and projects that have already begun discussions with city staff prior to these recent text amendment action. To the extent council determined that additional time would be helpful, it may be appropriate to allow for a brief period of additional discussion or review, particularly in situations where there is an active prospective buyer and a project already underway. There are a number of ways to accomplish that, including a defined transition period, additional opportunity for input, or another mechanism that allows projects already in progress to continue to be evaluated under the existing framework or otherwise proceed in alignment with the city's goals. We appreciate the city's efforts to thoughtfully evaluate its zoning requirements. Our goal is simply to ensure that the property owner and prospective developers have clear expectations as they work with the city. With that clarity, we are confident that this property can move forward in a productive and beneficial reuse for the city. Thank you for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Lieberman.
Good evening. My
Evening.
name is Ken Brightman. Been a resident of Kettering since 1955 when it was incorporated. I presently reside at a nice mid-century modern home on 2559 Santa Rosa Drive. I'm a practicing architect, retired by 10 years. We were downtown for about 10 years, moved my firm and all my staff here to Kettering to continue to do work in this community and others south of town. Been working with the city on several projects, worked with the big project that we had with Kettering City Schools, a number of churches in the community, and based with what's going on in Kettering. I'm here representing my son, the developer, entrepreneur that had the insight and the foresight to say, take a look at that 94,000 square foot building and find a good use for it, to put something on the map that doesn't exist anywhere in our community, in the Dayton area, the state, or even in the region, with a karting center. The karting center is not put in a quarter to let your grandchildren drive around. These are highly skilled electric indoor karts that training can go on through this. There's a story in the movies that did the same thing. The kids learned how to drive karts. They got their Formula One license and race Formula One or IndyCar. This is a training center for that. We're working with people in Germany that do the same kind of things in similar buildings. And with the development of this particular one, they can go through training at this location, compete regionally, nationally, and go on to Europe for higher ranks. This would be what this karting center is that will draw people from all over the Midwest to this. This is not a neighborhood facility particularly. The other thing that we rolled into it as we looked at the master plan for that was a country club for car owners. There's many, many well-heeled people in our community that have amassed a pretty good fortune. Their cars are one of their assets. Rather than tennis or golf, that's what they prefer to do. Once they've filled their 4 or 5 car garage on their McMansions, they're looking for other places for that. Other high-end locations around the country, where some in Cincinnati, some in Columbus, none in Dayton, Ohio anywhere. Probably the biggest one that we're kind of modeling ourselves as the minimum standards. We want to go beyond that is in Carmel, Indiana, a very affluent community north of Indianapolis that is doing the same kind of things with these car condominiums. These are a larger facility that are built and sold to them. $500,000, $1 million is their entrance price. They put $1 million into it in order to store cars. They have their own entertainment centers, place for caterers, get-togethers, parties. There'd be a number of these, creating a community of like-minded people in the car community. Very popular on the West Coast and Monterey. On the East Coast, there's a real need for it here in the Midwest. So as we took a look at that particular facility, I went to the zoning regulations to see if everything looked good. It did. At that point, I said, well, we've got our vision list of what this facility would be with everything that we're modeling this design after it, saying, okay, that looks good. Let's take this particular plan and meet with the city officials. So I called for a meeting that was held here in this building on March 26th at 2 o'clock in the Deed Center and requested that all the important people within the city that would want to see what we're doing to make sure we're not missing anything. That's what I did with every one of my clients for my entire career. This was no different. In fact, this was more important. I have a tough client to work with. So we had a brief meeting. The city was great working with them. It was good seeing them. I've been in that role many, many times. It's comfortable to be in this building. We got reports back in writing. Everything looks good, but you have to do your working drawings, specifications, take a look at your sprinkler flows, your zoning, all that. Turn in the drawings, everything's good. The month after that, I was watching the cable for this and heard about this document. This is why I'm here today. It alarmed me with some of the things that were spoken in here and how it affects our project. If this goes in the way it is today, that cancels this project completely. We're dead in the water. I asked for consideration so that this can be a win-win between all parties. That's what I always sought when I was an architect. Want everybody to win on this, but it takes time and communications, and we offer communications and for face-to-face meetings with the decision makers at the city. I don't reject zoning improvements. We need those as architects and engineers so that we better our community. Well, we want to make sure nothing is overlooked, so we're bringing another piece to the puzzle to see if it fits. That's what we request. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Brightman.
Thank you for the honor. My name is Kenny Brightman III. You can probably guess, as you mentioned, we're related. 35 Southmore Circle, Northeast. Outside of a few years at The Ohio State University and living up north after I graduated, I've spent my 44 years in Kettering schools. I've lived here. My children attend here. I raised my family here. My parents both lived in Kettering, as you mentioned. My mom was a teacher. My father was an architect here, also in Kettering. And we are Kettering residents through and through. There's no doubt about that. We live and breathe this city. In fact, my father was the person, is noted as the person who developed the idea for an automotive show for the Kettering Holiday at Home, held right out here. From the age of 5 years old, I lovingly and absolutely the fantastic bit of joining him by his side to go to every car show that we could possibly attend to personally invite those people from all around Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, and have them come to Kettering, Ohio. I spent my entire childhood from spring all the way through summer doing just that, and I found my passion for cars. Not only that, but the sense of community that came with it. And he ran it, and I helped him do that for many, many years. So knowing that, along with my city is named after Charles F. Kettering, the man behind many of the most prolific automotive inventions that helped propel the entire industry worldwide. I am super proud of that, and I tell everybody on every flight and everybody I meet around the country that, hey, did you know? And I proceed to tell the story about my proud hometown. Along with that, the passion has continued. I started Dayton Cars and Coffee in 2014. I said, hey, I see what's happening on the West Coast and the East Coast. I want to bring together a sense of community around people, just no awards or anything. Let's just all come together, and we've done that. And what that has turned into is a tertiary city of Dayton, Ohio, and the surrounding community being one of the top 10 in the United States now. I am very proud not to have started that, but to see my community become that center. And we have people come in from Pittsburgh, Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Columbus, Detroit, and beyond, and this is their stop across the country because they've heard about it. It's amazing. It truly is amazing. It's in our blood. So the former Victoria's Secret building that has been mentioned has been vacant for many years, and the desire to turn it into a multi-purpose center featuring world-class indoor competitive karting, a private automotive club, and have on-site high-end vehicle storage for automotive enthusiasts and car condos is a desire of mine. Across the U.S., car condos, we're referring to it in vehicle storage. That would be indoor, as noted earlier. have continued to grow in popularity across the U.S. There are now more than 500 developments. These typically are developed in high-end areas. There's one in Oakley, down near Cincinnati. There's one in Cincinnati proper, Blue Ash. In Columbus, they have New Albany and Powell. There's ones in Carmel was mentioned, downtown Indianapolis, and they're continuing to, and that's just regionally. We don't have one here in the Miami Valley, and it's kind of a shame. So that's where the idea of putting these components together to make a automotive community and epicenter was the start of the project. They've been rapidly growing, and we see an opportunity to be one of the first, not only in this region, but as far as our research has found, nobody has done it in the way that we're looking to do it, with the car condos and the other side of it, the competitive nature of karting. The car guys get competitive, and the last thing we want is on the streets, everybody, nudging each other. We want to see that collaboration happen and make it something that's never been done before. We can't find it anywhere in the U.S. or otherwise around the world. I want that to be in my hometown. Just as it's been a goal from an early age to play cars, it's equally important that I'm able to give back to my community by building on its rich history, centered around the automobile and a stronger, more vibrant community. Centered around building relationships. Not only would it be positive for the city, it would be a first in the Miami Valley, and as I mentioned, a first, to our knowledge, in the world. I would love for people to come visit from all over the region and beyond. We know businesses and networking happen on the golf course, but it also can be said that it happens in car condos. Just as Kettering built the Barn Gang, along with Colonel Deeds, bringing together people of influence, brilliance, and allowing like-minded individuals to collaborate with like-minded interests, we ask you to reconsider the removal of vehicle storage, particularly indoor. The automobile has been in our DNA of this and in this region for more than a century. And pulling the zoning code as far back as we could find, it's been in there. Removing it now would not only impact an exciting new investment project in an area that absolutely needs it, I think we can all recognize that, but it will ultimately be removing a piece of what makes this city unique and a part of our history. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Brightman. Any further public comment on the issue tonight? Seeing none, we'll close the hearing. City Council will take this matter under advisement. Legislative amending the zoning code will be reconsidered at a future City Council meeting. And that concludes the matter this evening. Thank you, gentlemen. Tonight we do have one ordinance in second reading. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. That's why you're here. Get back up, one agenda item. That's why, Vice Mayor. Would like to, anyone wishing to speak before council with comments or new information about the legislation on tonight's agenda may do so at this time. Each speaker is limited to 5 minutes. Speakers must state their name and address. Comments should be addressed to council. If you have comments that are not about the legislation on tonight's agenda, there will be an opportunity for those to be heard later in the meeting. Anybody wishing to make comment on tonight's agenda at this time? Perfect timing. That'll be fine. Yeah.
Evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. My name is Stephen Strain. I reside here in Kettering, 2600 Ariel Avenue. As you are all aware, Article 10, Section 8 of the City of Kettering Charter, beginning in January of 1976, requires that the mayor shall put together a committee of qualified electors to review the city charter for any possible amendments or alterations. Our mayor, Mr. Suddeth, has done that this year. That committee includes myself, Mary Beth Lehman, Bill Louder, Al Fullenkamp, Diane Farrell, Gwen Owen, Chuck Havener, Matt Warhoftig, Ron Klein, Nick Rains, and Bethany Roosh. We have had several meetings over the course of March, April, and even into May. We have reduced our recommendations to written format, proposing both the recommended changes that we saw fit and how we think they would be best presented ultimately to voters. Those are attached to a letter that has been forwarded to all of you. We leave that in your hands, and if you have any questions about it, we will be happy to answer them. Last but not least, I would like to commend the staff members, particularly Ms. Pascalone, Mr. Gleason, in helping to guide, instruct, and inform that committee as we deliberated our changes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Strain. And again, thank you to you and the fellow committee members. And Bethany Roush is here this evening. She didn't want to be named. She's in the back row. But earlier tonight, Mary Beth Lehman and Nick Rains were here this evening as well as you presented this to workshop. Thank you for all your work. And it's on item number 9 on our agenda this evening. So we'll take it up shortly.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any further comment on tonight's legislation? Hearing none, we will move to ordinances and second reading.
Your Honor, I have an ordinance to amend the text of various sections of Chapter 152 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Kettering. This is requested by the City Manager's Office. This is in second reading, and I move for approval.
Second.
Sorry, I'm a little behind. With that, Matt, let me start over.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Greason, comment, please.
Yes, Your Honor. We've talked a little bit about this before, and I think I've highlighted in the past that this proposal came as a result of a team of individuals, of our staff members who are working on continuous improvement efforts internally. This ordinance will amend Chapter 152, which is purchases and contracts of the city's codified ordinances, to raise the dollar amount thresholds for legislation approval, formal sealed bidding, competitive bargaining, and blanket purchase orders from $25,000 to $75,000, which is allowed under state statute and is being done by a number of other communities in our region. Under the amended ordinance, the city manager would have the authority to enter into contracts valued at less than $75,000, consistent with the thresholds in the Ohio Revised Code, as I mentioned, and aligning with other communities. The current $25,000 thresholds were established by City Council in 1992, so what you can purchase for $25,000 in 2026 is a little different than it was in 1992. The higher thresholds would allow the city to gain some workflow and workload efficiencies for the purchase of goods and services. And as I mentioned before, this was recommended as part of the city's new continuous improvement program. I'll be glad to answer any questions that the council may have.
Any questions for the city manager? I would just say I've had the opportunity to speak to my counterparts about the Miami Valley and across the state, and most could not believe that our threshold was still so low. That was the general acceptance of the conversation. Like, how are you still there? How are you guys doing this? So I feel like we're catching up to the rest of the region and the state on this matter. At this time, does anyone in the audience have any new information about this ordinance that they want to share? If there's someone present with new information that wants to address City Council, you can speak now. It can be limited to 5 minutes. But if so, seeing none, the ordinance secretary has been seconded. Call for the vote.
Ms. Duvall?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Ms. Arbor?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Palmer?
Yes.
Mayor Sutton?
Yes. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Sullivan for our first resolution of the evening.
All right, Your Honor, I have a resolution authorizing the acceptance of a donation from the Kettering Parks Foundation to help support youth gym at the Kettering Recreation Complex. The estimated cost is $9,000. The amount budgeted is $0, and this is requested by the Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Arts Department. I move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Burgess.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Kettering Parks Foundation would like to donate $9,000 to allow the Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Arts Department to offer free youth gym Monday through Friday at the Kettering Recreation Complex throughout the remainder of this year. The donation covers the fees that would have been charged for participating in the program. You happy to answer any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Bergstresser? Seeing none, we can call the roll.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Ms. Arbor?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Palmer?
Yes.
Ms. Duval?
Yes.
Mayor Seta?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a resolution ratifying a contract with Five Rivers Landscaping Group for the reinstallation of the rock wave sculpture public art piece at Delco Park and authorizing an additional expenditure of funds. The estimated cost is $35,000 additional. The amount budgeted is $35,000. The request is being made by Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Arts Department, and I move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Bergstresser.
Thank you, Your Honor. This resolution would allow the additional expenditure of funds to correct the Leaning Tower of Delco Park, as we commonly refer to it as. Most people know it as the Rockwave sculpture, which is near the pond in Delco Park. Previously, through separate legislation, you had authorized the city to contract for the relocation and new installation of the sculpture. We have found an error in that RFP process, and there was additional work regarding bracing and relocating the sculpture, bracing to relocate the sculpture, along with some additional consulting fees for testing, project management, and inspection. The original legislation was approved for $40,000. Tonight we were requesting an additional $35,000 for the work, the additional work that was not included in the original RFQ. I would mention that this cost for this additional work and the original $40,000 is being paid for out of the 1% for the Arts Fund. Be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions on the topic for Mr. Bergstresser? Hearing none, we can call the roll.
Ms. Arbor?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Palmer?
Yes.
Ms. Duval?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Mayor Seta?
Yes.
I have a resolution ratifying a contract with Schlegel Creative Resources, LLC for design, marketing, and sponsorship services for the Fraze Pavilion and authorizing an additional expenditure of funds. Estimated amount, $74,000. That is the amount available and is requested by Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Arts. I move for its approval.
Second.
Mr. Bergstresser.
Thank you, Your Honor. The city is currently under contract with Schlegel Creative Resources, LLC, for design services for the Fraze Pavilion, which includes marketing, advertising, social media, promotional materials, et cetera, et cetera. The request tonight is to increase the total amount originally approved under the resolution back in 2022 when we first entered into contract by an additional $24,000 for additional seasonal advertising and by another $50,000 to cover any additional sponsorships that Schlegel Creative Resources obtains in the future for Fraze Pavilion, for which they receive a percentage of the package. All these increases that are proposed tonight are covered by the current appropriation budget. Be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Bergstresser? Seeing none, we can call the roll.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Palmer?
Yes.
Ms. Duval?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Ms. Arbor?
Yes.
Mayor Seta?
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a resolution authorizing the city manager to use competitive bargaining and negotiated quotes to contract for the restoration and resurfacing of sport court surfaces at various parks in Kettering. $50,000 is the estimated cost. The amount budgeted is also $50,000. This is requested by the Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Arts Department, and I move for its approval.
Second.
Mr. Bergstresser.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is an annual program that our Parks Division runs to restore and repair and resurface various sport courts located throughout parks within the city. The work includes cleaning, crack repair, replacing equipment, repainting of the court lines, and resurfacing of the courts. Specifically in this year, court repairs are planned for Cantner Park, Delco Park, Walther Park, and Glazer Park. One item of note for those pickleball fans out there, pickleball lines will be added to the tennis courts at Cantner Park and Walther Park. Happy to answer any questions.
You know the way to our hearts.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Any other questions, Mr. Bergstresser? We can call the roll.
Mr. Palmer?
Yes.
Ms. Duval?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Ms. Arbor?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mayor Sedit.
Yes.
I have a resolution authorizing the city manager to use competitive bargaining and negotiated quotes to contract for residential refuse removal and recycling services. There is zero cost. This is requested by the Public Service Department, and I move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Bergstresser.
Thank you, Your Honor. The city's current single hauler contract with Rumpke expires June 30th of next year. So this resolution tonight will allow the city manager to obtain proposals for our refuse removal and recycling services contract that covers all 1, 2, and 3 unit residential dwellings within the city of Kettering. Proposals will be received from refuse haulers in the coming weeks with the intent to enter into contract with the selected refuse hauler in early 2027 at the latest. The new contract will begin on July 1st, 2027. Now, you may ask, why are we doing this more than a year in advance? The answer to that is assuming, well, depending on who we select for the contract, a new hauler potentially would need startup time to get ready to start serving the city on July 1st of next year. We learned the last time that we went through this process, right before COVID, that the lead time for trucks and materials and trash cans and things like that is quite a long lead time for many of those things. So we are starting this process earlier this time around in the hopes that we will get very competitive pricing, which would directly be passed on to our residents, and also give whatever hauler is selected ample lead time for the procurement of vehicles, equipment, personnel, things of that sort. So that is the intent for why we're starting this seemingly so early when we have a full year, over a year now before it starts. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Seeing none, we can call the roll.
Ms. Duval?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Ms. Arbor?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Palmer?
Yes.
Mayor Sedit.
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a resolution authorizing the city manager to apply for, accept, and expend the Ohio Law Enforcement Bulletproof Vest Program grant through the Ohio Attorney General's Office. The estimated cost and the amount budget is $0. This is requested by the Police Department, and I move for its approval.
Second.
Mr. Greason.
Yes, Your Honor. This grant is funded through a collaboration between the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation and the Office of the Ohio Attorney General. It's available for up to $40,000 total. It would be used towards the purchase of 7 sets of body armor currently in use that expire later this year. If approved, the replacement body armor will be ordered and the grant will cover reimbursement of up to 75% of the cost. The local match would be covered by the current appropriation budget, and a supplemental appropriation would be requested in the if we are awarded the grant. Be glad to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions from Mr. Greason? Hearing none, we call the roll.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Ms. Arbor?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Palmer?
Yes.
Ms. Duval?
Yes.
Mayor Sedit.
Yes.
Your Honor, I have a resolution to receive the report and recommendations of the 2026 Charter Review Committee. The estimated cost is $0, along with the budgeted amount is $0. It's requested by the Law Department. I move for approval.
Second.
Ms. Pasqualone.
Thank you, Your Honor. In accordance with the Charter, a Charter Review Committee was formed earlier this year and met several times over the past few months to analyze, research, and discuss recommendations to City Council for various amendments to the Charter. The resolution tonight acknowledges receipt of the 2026 Charter Review Committee's recommendations. An opportunity for Council to vote on an ordinance to submit proposed Charter amendments to the ballot in the fall will be coming at subsequent Council meetings. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the committee for its time and service to the city. I recommend approval. I can answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions? Again, just to echo the committee that just had so many good things to say about you and your leadership. Also the support from Jennifer Baker, if we could pass that to the staff as well. And of course to you, Matt, for being at those meetings in the evenings and just navigating those hours of conversations with that dozen member committee. So thank you both for all your help. No further questions. We'll call the roll.
Ms. Arbor?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Palmer?
Yes.
Ms. Duval?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Mayor Sedith?
Yes.
I have a resolution to make supplemental appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Kettering, State of Ohio, during the fiscal year ending December 31, 2026. Estimated cost $148,428.25 and is requested by the Finance Department. I move for its approval.
Second.
Mr. Greason.
Yes, Your Honor. There are three three issues for the supplemental appropriation. The first is an appropriation of $60,500 to reclassify the salary and benefits of an employee from the Clerk of the Court Cost Center to the Municipal Court Cost Center effective June 15th. It's a net budget impact of zero, but the supplemental appropriation is required for budget purposes. In the PRCA fund, in the operating, there's a supplemental appropriation of $15,000 requested for the Rosewood Art Center to provide services for the Charles F. Kettering Foundation in connection with its America 250 programming. So those services include planning and hosting a performance and letterpress poster workshop, among other duties. The city will receive a stipend totaling $15,000 to offset the expenditures that we're incurring. And the last one is a supplemental appropriation in the Capital Improvement Fund of $72,928.25. It's requested to provide for additional costs related to the MOT 835 pedestrian bike path project. Don't ask me what the 25 cents is for at the end of that. The bids exceeded the amount budgeted. However, I will note that those additional expenses are fully offset by the Ohio Department of Transportation grant funding that we received for this project. So there is no additional cost to the city. The additional $12,000 requested is to cover estimated legal fees related to future right-of-way acquisitions for the project, and the amount to be determined and requested in future legislation and required public advertisements. So $60,928.25 in additional bid costs and $12,000 for legal fees, right-of-way acquisition costs, and public advertisement, total of $72,928.25. Be glad to answer your questions.
Any questions for Mr. Greason? Seeing none, we call the roll.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Palmer?
Yes.
Ms. Duval?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Ms. Arbor?
Yes.
Mayor Sedith?
Yes. Tonight we have a few ordinances, emergency ordinances in first reading. Be the only reading, and I'll turn it over to
Mr. Palmer.
Mr. Palmer has this one. Thank you.
Your Honor, I have an emergency ordinance in first reading to appropriate project parcel 1-T for the MOT Founders Pedestrian Improvement Project, city project number 02-254M, ODOT PID 121631 in the city of Kettering, Ohio, and to declare an emergency. The amount budgeted, estimated cost $2,534, same amount budgeted. This is requested by the engineering department. I move for its approval.
Second.
Mr. Burchester, the first of three.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. I'll explain more on number one and pass on the second two, since they're pretty much the same. So tonight we have three emergency ordinances before you. They are for the same project, but separate parcels of land within that project corridor. So the project at hand is the Mott Founders Pedestrians Improvement Projects. Essentially, it will construct a sidewalk along the south and east side of Founders Drive as it moves through the Mine Valley Research Park off of State Route 835 Research Boulevard. This is a project that we received federal funding through the Mine Valley Regional Planning Commission for construction starting next year. In order to start construction next year, we need to have the right-of-way, all the right-of-way acquired and certified to ODOT that we've acquired it in the coming months. So all that information is due to ODOT later this year so that we can start the advertisement and bidding process for the project. So therefore tonight, because of some extended negotiations and unresponsiveness from the property owner that owns these 3 parcels, we are requesting an emergency ordinance tonight to appropriate the land that is needed to construct the project, both temporary right-of-way and some permanent right-of-way on the next 2 ordinances on those 2 respective parcels. We are requesting an emergency ordinance tonight because it will be effective upon passage tonight. That is to not jeopardize the grant funding that has been allocated for this project, as I mentioned, this coming in 2027. Again, that's the explanation for all 3 of them, but I'd be happy to answer any questions about any 3 of these ordinances.
Only question is clarification. Both these parcels are the same property owner, right?
That's correct. All 3, there's parcel 1, parcel 2, parcel 3, and there's many designations of parcels. Some are WD1, WD2, etc. The WDs are, it stands for warranty deed. It's a permanent acquisition of right-of-way on that specific parcel of larger land. Some of them are Ts for temporary easements that we would acquire. All the same owner, they just happen to own 3 separate parcels of land along the project.
Very good. Any more questions for Mr. Bergstrasser? Go and call the roll.
Mr. Palmer?
Yes.
Ms. Duval?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Ms. Arbor?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mayor Sudduth?
Yes.
I have an emergency ordinance to appropriate project parcels 2-WD1, 2-WD2, and 2-T for the MOT Founders Pedestrian Improvements Project, City Project Number 02-254M, ODOT PID 121631 in the City of Kettering, Ohio, and to declare an emergency. The estimated cost is $3,465. This is requested by the Engineering Department, and I move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Bergstrasser?
No further comments, Your Honor. Thank you.
Very good. Any more questions, anything new? Very good. We'll call the roll.
Ms. Duval?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Ms. Arbor?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Palmer?
Yes.
Mayor Sudduth?
Yes.
Your Honor, I also have an emergency ordinance to appropriate project parcels 3-WD1, 3-WD2, 3-WD3, 3-WD4, 3-WD5, 3-WD6, and 3-T for the MOT Founders Pedestrian Improvements Project, City Project Number 02-254M, ODOT PID 121631 in the City of Kettering, Ohio, and to declare an emergency. The estimated cost and the amount budgeted is $7,956, and this is requested by the Engineering Department, and I move for its approval.
Second.
Mr. Bergstrasser, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say no comment. We'll just keep going. But just a point of clarification, this will be no surprise to the property owner. They know that this is...
Yes, we've been in communication with them for many months now. They are aware of the action that is we were requesting of council tonight. They're aware of that. Sometimes appropriation proceedings are friendly and sometimes they are not friendly. I would classify this one in the friendly category.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Any other questions, Mr. Bergstrasser? And call the roll.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
Ms. Arbor?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Palmer?
Yes.
Ms. Duval?
Yes.
Mayor Sudduth?
Yes. Thank you. This time I'll call upon our Clerk of Council, Ms. Hayslip, for any certifications or petitions this evening.
Your Honor, we do not have any certifications or petitions this evening. Thank you.
And with that, back to you, Mr. Greason, for the community update.
Yes, Your Honor, I'll be brief. June is Pride Month, and the Kettering Board of Community Relations places emphasis on a number of months throughout the year, and in particular this month, they're recognizing Pride Month, encouraging everyone to welcome and respect members of the LGBTQ plus community this month and anytime, because Kettering is home to all of us. Summertime brings block parties and an opportunity for neighbors to get together, and it is a really terrific way to meet or get acquainted with your neighbors, build a sense of pride and celebrate holidays together. If you want to do a block party on your street, in your community, your neighborhood, you can request that on the city's website or by calling the engineering department. They have the best job. They get to issue block party permits. In addition to take right-of-way.
And assign addresses.
And assign addresses, right. Little humor at the end of a meeting. We are also taking applications for the Kettering Leadership Academy. A number of you have participated in this program, and it is outstanding. It is a unique opportunity to learn a lot about the city of Kettering and experience personal and professional growth. You can get information on the website. You can also call us and ask about the Kettering Leadership Academy. We would be glad to share information. We're also taking Neighborhood Pride Award nominations. So we're encouraging people to take a moment to nominate a neighbor, a business, or yourself, or any Kettering resident that you think is deserving of an award. Nominations are accepted online, and the link is on the screen, or you can email our volunteer administrator, Lindsay Curry. She is also who you can email or contact about the Kettering Leadership Academy. There's also a submission form included in our recent edition of Contact with Kettering, and there is an August 1st deadline. Mulch is now available, and you can get that mulch from the location at 2801 East Stroop Road, Indian Riffle Park, behind Tennenberg Kennels. Do it in your truck, trailer, or other container during daylight hours, 7 days a week. And we encourage Kettering residents to take advantage of what is an outstanding service. Lastly, we are always focused on the health of our community and its citizens, and so we want to continue to highlight the blood pressure clinic dates that are held at the Dayton Metro Library Kettering Moraine branch on Far Hills. May dates are almost over, and June dates are on the screen, and there are 4 of them each Wednesday from 9:30 to 11:30. We encourage you to take advantage of that. Be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for Mr. Greason this evening?
I would just like to add one thing to the block party slide. The Board of Community Relations also provides a free ice cream for block parties. So if you are applying for a block party permit, ask about the ice cream. You'll get some free ice cream for your neighbors, and everyone will be happier. That's it.
Excellent point. At this time, if you'd like to speak before City Council, please come down to the podium. Each speaker will have a 5-minute limit. Speakers are asked to state their name and address. If there's anyone who'd like to speak before City Council tonight, please do so at this time.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council.
Good evening, sir.
My name's Ralph Haynes. I live 2949 East Cunnington Lane. Been there 54 years. Love my city of Kettering. And I am involved very deeply in Little League's sports. I think it's very, very important to the children, along with the parents and grandparents. And we are currently going through a phase at the park, down at State Farm Park, that we have this tournament coming in that's scheduled to be here in July. We have a 3-day thing. It's July the 10th, 11th, and 12th. Now, always before, we've always been able to access the grassy areas around the park. And for some odd reason, this year that has been disallowed. They've blocked it off. There's no way we're going to park vehicles. People come in here from several different cities for this. There's several thousand people coming in. And we need to at least get that cleared if we can for those 3 days to lie. We've parked in this grassy area for years. I don't understand what the problem is now that we don't do it. There's never been a vehicle ever stuck out there. They've never tore up anything. And this brings a lot of people in, and it's very important to these children to have their parents and grandparents there. These people can't park 2 miles away and walk over to that park, because I know I'm 81 years old myself, and I don't like to walk 2 or 3 miles anywhere. But it's just something I think we could get around and help these people get in here. It helps the children more than anybody. My next door neighbor, he's president of that whole thing, Ed Barnett. And Ed is just absolutely going out of his mind trying to figure out what to do with it, know whether to have to cancel these tournaments or to try to go ahead and plan it. But we will have to have this parking areas if we're going to have the tournaments. So any help that you could give us on that, we'd certainly appreciate it.
I will say that parking at State Farm Park has been an item we just talked about recently, so we will continue this conversation and have somebody contact you, and we'll keep the conversation going.
Well, appreciate it very much. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Constance Myers, and I reside at 809 Rock Hill Avenue. And I am sure that there are other Kettering residents that are experiencing an issue that I want to bring to your attention. The issue involves the service provided by Rumpke Waste Collection. My particular waste collection day is Wednesday. I would say a minimum of 2 Wednesdays each month. As I return my empty trash container to my garage, I stop and remove trash from the street that blows or falls from the trash truck. Yes, I have contacted and spoken with Rumpke's customer service department on separate occasions to inform them of the ongoing problem. Further, I recently submitted a written complaint with photos attached which visibly show the issue. An email response was returned to me stating I would be contacted shortly. After approximately 10 days, I emailed Rumpke stating I had not been contacted. Their return response stated it had been reported to the proper department, and if there were further issues, to contact them. Based on Rumpke's lack of customer service, I feel council should be informed of the kind of service being provided. I do not feel I am too good to pick up a few pieces of trash that escapes the truck. However, the 2 slices of pizza on my curb put me over the top. 2 weeks later, a trash bag fell from the truck, which was most likely run over by the truck's back wheels, and trash was strewn all over the street in front of my neighbor's home. As I was cleaning it up, I stepped aside to let a truck pass and noted that it was a smaller truck. It was a Rumpke truck. The driver did not stop to assist with the cleanup. However, he had to have known exactly what I was doing. Further, I have observed that city public works crews picking up trash throughout the city, especially in the areas where Rumpke has serviced those residential areas on that particular day. In addition, while traveling west on West Dorothy Lane, if you follow the trucks en route to the dump, trash is flying out of the trucks. On one occasion, I stopped and I talked to a member of Public Works crew, and he told me they clean up after Rumpke on a regular basis. Rumpke is creating a definite property maintenance problem, and the city needs to require them to create a process that eliminates this situation. Additional city funds should not be spent on their salaries to have our employees clean up the mess created by Rumpke on a weekly basis. Over the last several years, Kettering has become a city no longer displaying the clean, neat, and well-maintained appearance it once had, as trash is strewn across the roadways, and it's a major reason largely created by Rumpke. It is my understanding that council awarded the contract to Rumpke to provide waste collection service for a multi-year period of time, as it was probably considered the lowest and best service bid. Prior to the next contract being awarded, please consider a provider that offers a more superior service that might require a slight increase to the property owner's cost, but would save the overall cost of extra staff personnel and property maintenance. I thank you for your consideration in this matter, and I would like to, if possible, go ahead and submit this information to you.
Please do.
It contains the photos that I submitted to Rumpke, and it also contains my email correspondence with them.
Very good.
You can see the two pieces of pizza line.
Thank you, Ms. Meyer.
Thank you.
Any further public comment for the council this evening? Seeing none, I will take a moment of mayor privilege before I hand it off to Ms. Duval for council comment. I'd like to introduce Ryan Conkle, who is certified by the Montgomery County Board of Elections as the next council member representing District 4 here in Kettering. So Ryan is here tonight. We hope that the Secretary of State will finish his work and we'll swear Ryan in on the June 9 meeting here in Chambers. But I just want to welcome you, Ryan, tonight, and congratulations again on your win. And the seat is right here waiting for you in 2 weeks, okay? Thank you. Oh, very good. All right, with that, I will now turn it over to Vice Mayor Duval for the first of tonight's council comments.
I would also like to point out that, as far as we know, Mr. Conkle is the first member of a current Kettering Leadership Academy class to be elected to city office. We are so excited. We're so proud of you. Congratulations. The leadership class graduated last week, 2 weeks ago, and we are exceptionally proud of the class. They did an amazing job, and the project, I believe it's the native bird nests, the boxes, birdhouses. That's, couldn't think of the word. It's a very well-rounded, amazing project that is just very impressive. So thank you to the KLA class of this year. I'll be brief on this, but I do want to thank Van Buren Middle School for hosting Career Day, which I got to go to. And there were quite a few city people there. I know there was at least one police officer there. I'm not sure if the fire department, yep, they were represented. It was a great day. Those kids are very engaged, and there is one very persistent middle schooler who has a lot of thoughts on e-bikes. I did invite him to come, so watch out for him. He has a lot to say. And that's all I have.
All right. Mr. Greason mentioned the block party. We're having our 5th annual, it's become annual block party on our street in our neighborhood. It has been such a great way to meet neighbors. I highly recommend if your neighborhood does not do that. We take advantage of the free ice cream. The fire truck comes down. If a police officer's not busy, some years they are, they'll come down and the kids can check out the police cruisers and things like that. So highly recommend those block parties if you've never done one. Great way to meet your neighbors. I also want to mention tomorrow is Play Your Way Fest, which is the first, right? This is the first Play Your Way Fest at the Phrase, and this is our first big event of the year at the Phrase. So I hope to see the Roushes there. The Sullivan girls will be there, so we'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, good. Looking forward to that. I think there'll be a movie at the end of the night on the big screen back there. So very excited about that. And then lastly, I wanted to mention the Heritage Tree Program. So similar to the Neighborhood Pride Award, the Heritage Tree Program is if there's a notable tree that enhances a neighborhood or is an exceptional tree, there is a place that you can write that up. There's an application. I notice them now because of this program. I'm driving around. I particularly love oak trees, and I notice them in my neighbors' yards or wherever I'm at, and I have written a few of these up. So if you go on Kettering's website, you can find the application, but I will read this short description. It says, it is a celebratory program which allows us to appreciate the environmental and aesthetic gifts provided by the remarkable trees around us. And I was a former tree committee member for the city of Kettering, so I wanted to share that with you all because it's a neat program. That's it for me.
So I have two short things. One, I got to attend the Orchard Park May Day program, and it was such fun. It was such a beautiful morning, and I learned it was the 40th time they'd had that May Day program. So it was really fun to see all the kids out there and all the singing and the May Day pole. It was very nice. The other thing I have is going to be opposite of the Heritage Tree program. It's the pear purge. So if you haven't heard of that, we've got a Kettering will offer for the invasive calorie pears, which they host 0 native insects, they offer no support to local food, so different than the heritage or native trees which sustain those hundreds of species of insects. There is a special discount if you want to get your calorie pear removed for exclusive Kettering residents, and also if you do get it removed, you will receive a 24 to 36 inch sapling in its place. So if you Google Kettering pear purge, it'll come up with all the details. And I will have to tell you, I had a calorie pear in my yard. It is gone, and I can see why they're so invasive. 2 years later, I am still digging up saplings, so I can see why they've become so invasive to the environment. So I would suggest trying to get rid of it.
That's a great program. Please do not write up an application for a pear tree, for a heritage tree.
No, you'll not.
We will deny that. I don't have a say in that. They will deny that, I think.
A couple things. One, yesterday being Memorial Day, I had the privilege again to attend the memorial service at the city-owned cemetery in Beavertown. It's always sobering and is the reminder of why yesterday is a holiday. It's not to have a picnic, it's to honor the military members who gave their life for this country. And somewhat on the same thing, a few Sundays ago, I had the privilege to attend the rededication of the Armory on County Line Road. A lot of people in Kettering don't even know that Armory exists. It's been there for a number of years. It was modernized, significantly upgraded, and it was cool to see and hear some of the reservists talk about what they do to protect our country, everything from cyber to drive around armored Humvees. So again, it's a sobering thing, and these people do a great job, and we should never take them for granted.
Two quick shout outs. One, my sister Katie is here from Rhode Island, and she has endured the workshop and the meeting this evening, so I'll be taking her out to dinner after this meeting. And second shout out to my friend Addie Roush, who is going to be a fourth grader next year. So Addie, it's nice to see you. My daughter will be jealous she didn't get to see you. Have a wonderful summer, and I'm just so happy to see that smile. That's all I have.
In closing, just a few things. One, it's been a busy few weeks as mayor. One, I joined the city staff to the fly-in with the Dayton Development Coalition, where the attitude toward Kettering is one of optimism and opportunity. And speaking to developers and business folks, their eye is on Kettering. And I think the culmination of the strategic plan, the comprehensive plan, is going to bear fruit quickly. And so, and then with the chamber event just last week, speaking to developers there are very interested in projects in Kettering. So the things that you see that we're doing, while it's been in process for months or maybe years, there are folks just waiting to begin projects in our city. So it's very exciting to have that received. Today I was in Columbus on Capitol Hill, speaking to legislators on behalf of the Ohio Mayors Alliance and working beside the mayors of Ohio's 30 largest cities and tackling issues that affect our city and the funds that don't come from the state anymore and the impact of things that happen in Columbus. And it's a real joy to join fellow mayors from across the state there today in Columbus. Finally, school's out in Kettering. So please take a minute while you're celebrating. I want all the drivers to pay closer attention to the amount of bikes and e-bikes and scooters. I don't like them either, but they're moving faster and the kids are, the bikes are shorter. If all the adults that have cars can just move at a slower pace and pay closer attention to the kids coming off of sidewalks and curbs, it's just good for everybody. And we'll continue to work with the kids, and the chief has been a part of that project and the Cross Safe program through the schools. We're going to continue to educate the kids, but the adults, we need to do our part too by just moving a little slower in those areas where bikes and scooters and e-bikes are moving. So please do that and help keep our kids safe in our city. With that, there's no further business to come before City Council tonight. Our next regular scheduled meeting will be on June 9, and this meeting tonight is adjourned.